Chris Larson, co-owner of Nightrun Garage in Richmond, Virginia. Work on Supras, MR2s, and pretty much anything else. Well, pretty much I was a Toyota technician, then I switched over to Lexus, working in the dealership, kind of normal cars, you know, but it was always kind of my passion to work with Toyotas and kind of like the Supras and the aftermarket and the go fast kind of stuff. So Ben and I actually were friends on Facebook, oddly, for about 3 years or so before we even met. And we ended up going to the same event one weekend with a cruise up the Blue Ridge. And that's where we met, and we just started talking about, you know, we have similar interests with motorsports and like the old school 80s Toyotas and kind of like that kind of stuff. And it kind of just grew from there, and he had the shop space, and we kind of decided to like open up the doors and do this full time, and it kind of just blew up from there. People were coming to me before this for work, Troy actually one of them. Doing all this kind of work on the side when after hours or whatever. So that kind of just moved into a full-time thing here at Nightrun. We opened it up, we got some lifts in here, and we're kind of just doing this all day now, and I'm here full-time now since July. All right, my car is a '89 Supra Turbo hardtop. It's originally a non-TMS with ABS, kind of a bone stock turbo kind of a deal. I bought it completely original as it was, original paint. The engine was replaced by the previous owner, but literally everything stock besides the radio. Kind of bought it and blew the head gasket on a hot summer day, and that kind of snowballed into a full build because the taillights were cracked, and it all kind of dominoed into a full build. I did a 1JZ VVTi swap. I kept the R154 in it. Did a full paint job. Racing Heart wheels, HKS Hypermax 2 coilovers, Blitz Nurspec exhaust, just kind of bolt-on stuff. CX Racing front mount intercooler on it. Sparco seats and steering wheel. Just kind of standard, I guess, stuff. I guess the paint job kind of set it off to where it is now. And then kind of just after that, kind of was just a lot of small stuff from the whole build. It was full interior swap, full. I have a dashboard, door panels, and seats out of a '91. So it's kind of just a lot of small things, I guess, that I changed on it since it was original. So that's kind of where it's at now. It's just kind of BPU, I guess, making 300 horsepower or so, but. Got bigger plans for it, bigger single turbo. I want to make 600-700 horsepower with it eventually. So that's kind of my overall goal with it. I want to be able to track it and do some road course and some roll racing with it. So future goals for Nightrun are to just be a performance shop with Supras, MR2s. We want to get into some exotics. We're working on a Viper today. Kind of switch over to that kind of stuff other than just Toyota, but it is what we know and what we love and everything. So what we want to do is builds, basic maintenance, that kind of stuff in the shop, but we also want to produce carbon fiber and fiberglass parts. Online store is going to be a big part of this. We are a retailer already for Fortunato, AMSOIL, and Dress Up Bolts to start. So we're going to have a lot of products listed on our website for sale, so we kind of want to be retailing a lot of those parts.
Just talk from your report. You can say anything.
Ben, blah, 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 blah. Hi, my name is Ben. I'm the co-owner of Nightrun Garage, and that's where we're at today. So I bought my first Supra back in high school in 2004, and I still have it today. And I've been into cars, and I tinkered with it for years and been a big part of the Supra community for a long time. Then I met Chris at a car show a year and a half ago, and we decided to turn this into a business and make it something we really wanted to do together. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So Nightrun Garage specializes, as we said before, in Supras and MR2s and other Toyotas and sports cars in general. But as I said, our specialty is Toyota Supras. We have a lot of experience working on them. We do engine swaps of pretty much any sort, do all the custom wiring, Any kind of custom setup you'd like, we can do it. Overall goal for Nightrun Garage in the near future is to be able to expand outwards, including more lifts, more techs, to grow the business. We're going to be coming out with a full line of carbon fiber, fiberglass reproduction parts for the Supras, and try to make like OEM spec reproduction parts, gaskets, things that Toyota doesn't make anymore for their cars. Bitch and shit fire.
That's getting hit in there, just so you know. Thank you so much. It's stuff like that.
Him and I use Superforms as a dating app.
Yeah.
We met on there. It got pretty serious pretty quick. No, yeah, we really did meet on Superforms though, but he actually lived about 3 miles from my apartment when I moved down here in 2014 from Pennsylvania. And he had just bought his car, and it was like kind of him and me getting together on the Supra owners in Richmond, because it was kind of dead here for a while. And a lot of the owners either sold their mostly Mark IVs, or they just put them away and kind of just forgot about them. But him and I met, and we like got everyone back together. We started a Facebook page for Richmond Supra owners, and we kind of got everyone back together. And we've been going to Cars and Coffee with everybody, and it's been pretty fun. There's actually a few, Ben, one of them, out in Charlottesville. So we're all kind of within an hour of each other. So I feel like the Supra community here in Richmond and surrounding areas is actually pretty decent compared to what it was. So that's kind of how him and I met, and like I said, we kind of just had similar interests with Supras, me and Ben, and we met at a cruise they do twice a year on the Blue Ridge out near Charlottesville. Mm-hmm. And so we met doing that, and just kind of really just Supras. Maybe 30 or more Supras alone in Richmond, not to mention the MR2s and all sorts of other stuff. So we saw a market, a void, not people working on the specialty stuff. They're not really recognizing the specialty of what a Supra is in this kind of generic area. Virginia really, not really seeing what Supra is and taking the care it takes to work on them. And MR2s as well, they're kind of a specialty thing on their own. So mainly doing that kind of stuff, and we've had enough customers to start up and do this full time now. We're doing stuff that people say no to, really, kind of like this A86 here. We're doing a F22C swap into. So that's kind of one of those things that most shops would be scared of, and we're kind of doing that one.
You actually met my dad first, right?
Yeah, he actually had knee surgery, and I met his dad first. And his dad also
Stuck in my
had
room.
his dad had a Mark IV, and he had a Mark IV. So I come to a house that's a few miles from my house, and there's 2 Mark IV owners in one house, father and son. That was just kind of crazy. But you had the knee surgery, and I hadn't been able to meet you. So I met his dad first. That was kind of odd, but he actually
ended up only keeping the car for like 6 months or so.
Yeah, NA hardtop 5-speed. That was a pretty cool car.
Pearl white.
Yeah. So and there's actually him and I live about 5 minutes away from each other. Still, I got a house now. There's actually maybe 5 or 6 Mark IVs in our, like, 5 to 10 minutes from our house. We got 2,000 horsepower cars within our area. I actually have a guy in my neighborhood. He actually owns 2 Mark IVs. One of them was his dad's car. So he's got that, and he dailies an MR2 as well. So yeah, I feel like there's a good support around here for all the owners, I guess. Good group of guys.
It's funny, I'd heard about Ryan, the other father-son group of Mark IVs, and I had never met him until after my dad had sold his, and he had taken possession of both the cars. So it was interesting, because he was kind of like a myth around Richmond too, and I finally got to meet him, so that was actually pretty fun. All right, so my name is David Thomas. I'm an employee here at Nightrun. I have a 1994 Baltic Blue Toyota Supra that we just did a single turbo conversion on, VVTi, GTE swap, and I've had it for about 3 years now. I actually started out right when they opened. I was going to be just a normal customer, bring my car here for a swap, and after a couple months, I ended up coming up here to detail a few cars and ended up becoming an employee within a pretty short amount of time. And yeah. So in 2010, I really started cracking down trying to find a Mark IV Supra, and most of them were out of my price range completely. And my father actually brought up the idea to me. He found on eBay a 13,000 mile right-hand drive Mark IV in Canada for 13 grand. And I thought, that was kind of crazy, driving right-hand drive in this country. I can't do that. But it turned out, the cars were much cheaper being right-hand drive. So I looked into every state law I could because my father actually worked at DMV. So I ended up trying to figure out, if I could make this car legal or not. And I ended up not being able to do so. It was 100% legal in the state of Virginia, but due to me not really realizing there was a difference in state and federal laws, it was deemed illegal. And I owned the car for about 2.5 years, and I would say late 2012 or early 2013, ICE cracked down on me and found the car and actually seized it and crushed it. And yeah, it took, I'd say, 2 or 3 years to really recover from that and be able to save up enough money, buy another car, and trade and work my way back into another Mark IV. And March of 2015, I ended up finding this Baltic blue car, and I've had it ever since, and absolutely love it. The car is pretty much, it was stock when I bought it. It had TN suspension on it, and it was a factory NA 5-speed Baltic blue wingless black leather car. And we ended up pulling the motor out, put the VVTi GTE out of an Aristo in it, converted it to single turbo Borg Warner S366. It has a Drugo, like old school Mark III super manifold on it. And we repainted the bay, had Yoda connectors do the wiring harness, our friend Ron, and that turned out beautiful. It's a pretty simple single turbo setup. I am still rocking the W58. I know that's gonna be a ticking time bomb, but I had to do what I had to do to get the car running. It does have a W58 in it, and I only did it because I kind of went over my budget, and I realized like I can get the car running, baby it, whatever. I can still drive it and enjoy it with the W series, and eventually upgrade to whatever it is that I decide to go with.
Hold on.
Don't tempt me.
It's uptight. No one likes a shop that's uptight.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So come by and visit us anytime. We're at 11232 Hopson Road in Ashland, Virginia, Unit 10.
Yeah, we're pretty serious here. We don't joke around.
No.
It's kind of just work. Just show up to work. Just all day, 12-hour shifts. We don't even sleep.